Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you're watching this video from. Welcome back to Two Hills Paradise. My name, as usual, is Meshak, and if you have come across this channel for the first time today, please subscribe and remember to turn on the notification bell icon so that next time when we upload a video, you get notified that something nice has just landed on your most recent subscribed YouTube channel. Here we discuss everything motorcycles. Call it adventure, maintaining motorcycles, which motorcycles to buy, which motorcycle behaviors to avoid. Like today we have something very interesting about the group rides to avoid. We know as bikers we have this habit of pretending that everybody with a motorcycle is our brother. Everybody who rides a bike is family. Yeah, and sometimes we get into very serious troubles because of that belief that everybody on a motorcycle is your brother, everybody on a motorcycle is your friend. So today we are discussing the group rides that you should avoid. We have 5 of them. Take a second, hit that subscribe button. Let's get down to business. And number one is a group of strangers who met online, made like a group of some kind, maybe a WhatsApp group, a Facebook group, some group, and then one day they decide it is time to hit the road and make some memories. These are total strangers. Nobody knows nobody. Nobody knows nobody. Just met, 40 of you, made a WhatsApp group, agreed, yeah, we can go out and ride. Then the day comes, you organize a ride, and you go out there trying to overdo everything you know, trying to overshine, yeah, trying to prove that amongst all the strangers, you have the best bike, you have the most attractive bike, you have the loudest bike, you have the fastest bike, you know how to hit corners the best. Everybody is trying to prove everything. Avoid that group. If you do not know who is in that group, don't show up for that ride, for your own safety. You're going to end up with a group of criminals that you don't even know, a group of hooligans who are doing drugs, who are doing everything. You're going to find yourself messed up with people who are bullying everybody on the road, middle figuring every driver they see around, provoking everybody. Then you get noticed by someone. You get into serious trouble because of riding with strangers. So if a group is made up of strangers, avoid it. Avoid it completely. Number 2 in the group ride that you should avoid is a group ride that doesn't have leadership and doesn't have rules. What do I mean? Maybe you have a group of friends. Then they call their friends. Everybody calls their friends. Then you gather 150 of you, and in this group ride, there is no briefing about safety, about discipline, about anything. Because first of all, this group ride doesn't even have an agenda. There is no agenda in this. You're just meeting and riding and just going out there to bully everyone. There are no rules, there is no leadership, no one is leading, no one is at the head, no one is checking nobody. That's a group ride that you'd avoid. Even if it is made up of people who are your personal closest friends. And this is the kind of ride they are doing, avoid it. I have been in those group rides until I stopped. Because you go out for a ride, 30 of you, 2 are going to spend the night in a hospital bed. Every time you go out there, someone has to spend the night in a hospital bed. All has to be towed home in a pickup truck because they took a corner so fast, someone swerved and they pushed them off road. A lot of shenanigans that don't make any sense. So if a group ride doesn't have structures, that we meet in the morning at point A, we have 5 minutes briefing, we know who is reading, we know who is the marshals, we know who is who. If we are not doing that, turn around and go back home. You will be safer at home. Group number 3 that you should avoid. Group ride number 3. Maybe you have gone out with these people and you realize some behaviors. Maybe behaviors that you did not really appreciate. like this one. A group ride that people start together. Maybe you even do a briefing. You know who is who. You go somewhere and take some breakfast or something. You have very clear structures at the start. We are leaving point A at 10:30 a.m. We are arriving at point B at 12:30. We take lunch, and then at 2:30 we are going back to point A. If between point A and point B the ride was very clear, very good, the lunch was okay, but between point B back to point A, everybody is riding their own ride back home. Avoid that group ride. Next time if they organize that, avoid it. If we are going together from point A to point B, we should be back together to point A in the evening, all of us. All of us, unless there is someone with a very valid reason. Maybe they left earlier or they were left behind because of something. But not that we have agreed now, we have taken lunch, it's time to go back home, everybody is riding like they are alone. That is one of the reasons why I stopped attending those most group rides. I have been to group rides, like one we went to Makueni, like 100 of us, and another one like almost 200 people. We went for a burial in Muranga. That one of Muranga was the scariest motorcycle ride I have ever had in my life. I have been riding bikes for over 10 years, but that ride to Muranga was the most scary among all the rides I have taken. I would not want to get into that again. Group rides that do not have return structures. We go together, but coming back, everybody is on their own. It's like we have committed a crime wherever we went, and now we are running away from a crime scene. I do not appreciate that kind of group ride. And that's why most of the times you find me riding alone, because I make my own rules, I make my own structures. I am the boss. I decide where to go, how fast. I decide the route. I feel safe. Unless now I have few friends I know who are sober, we can take a ride and go to somewhere and enjoy ourselves. But ganging up 100 of us becomes a bit tricky. Number 4, it's a group where people are collecting each other along the road. We never met at one point when we were starting. We will go and collect people along the way. I left home, went to point A and picked 2 people, went to point C and picked another one, and 100 kilometers down the ride, we are now 20 of us. Some of us don't even know who we picked. Some of us don't even know from which direction they came before we picked them at whatever point we picked them. So there was no briefing, there was no introduction. I do not even know who is in that helmet. I don't appreciate that kind of group ride, because you're going to get into a group ride with people you should never even get close to. I want to see everyone without their helmet. I want to see their bikes. I want to see who is who before I can commit my life to this ride, because your life and your safety depends on the person who is just riding next to you. If they decide to be silly, trust me, you're screwed up. So if we are not starting together, that group ride should be avoided. We should start together, we should have briefings, we should have rules, we should know the direction we are taking, we should know who is reading, who is going to be at the last, we should know all those things. So if we are not doing that, just avoid it. The last group ride that you should avoid, the fifth, and this is the most interesting. This is the most interesting. A group ride where people are separated and grouped into subgroups depending on their bikes. Here we are, Meshach is riding a Honda Transalp 400. There is another friend and another one with Transalp 650, 600, Kawasaki KLR, Suzuki DR. Now these are people with middle-sized ADVs. They are ganged up together because your bikes can go off-road, they are slow, whatever it is, gang them together. Get to Jingsheng, Dayun, Benelli, gang them together. Go to CBR, Jigsaw, gang them together. If we are leaving point A going to point B, but we cannot go together because my bike and your bike are different, that means I do not belong there. I do not care which responsibility you give me in that group to lead, to do whatever it is. I don't belong there and I'm not going. If we were separating people because of the sizes of their bikes or something else, I do not belong there. And that is the reason why I have not been able to ride the Ubuntus. The Ubuntus, I have not been very comfortable about the Ubuntu rides that happen every year. Because I do not see why we gather like 1,000 of us, people with motorcycles. The whole country is gathered somewhere. And then you tell me, people with 400 are going to this direction. People with 600 going to that direction. People with 1,000 cc going to that direction. I do not even see why we should be discussing this. Why can't we go to the same direction together? Is it that you feel so uncomfortable about me being around you? Or is it that you feel I'm going to slow you down because you want to go and test your top speed? What exactly is the reason you want us to be separated? What exactly is the reason? And don't think I am being petty. I want you to go back into history of the Ubuntu rides and see how many accidents happen between morning and evening during the day of the ride. How many accidents happen? I want you to go into history and check how many accidents happen. How many of them happen between morning and evening of the day of the ride? How many of them happen? People are trying to prove something, my friend, trying to prove something. I have a 600cc inline 4 and I have decided to go with the 1000cc group. And since my friends, most of them are in the 1000cc group, that is where I'm going. So I'm going to try and keep up with these people. Whatever they do, I have to. Whatever they do, I have to. That's what happens. Someone else will feel, I have a 400cc, I have a 500cc, but I don't want to go to that 600 direction. I want to go to the 200cc direction. Because maybe a couple of friends that I have are in that group. So I'm heading that direction. So I'm going to be there as a senior. Because my bike is powerful, it's big, I am going to prove a lot of things to those people and make them feel silly, make them feel useless. Because they have a 200cc, I have a 400 that can do whatever it is, I'm going to try and shine. And that is how accidents happen. If a group ride is separating people based on whatever criteria, that group ride should not be even there. Should not even be organized in the first place. Because if it is a group ride, we should be going together as one group to the same direction, same destination, same speed. If you feel that some group has more capacity to do more speed, should be given their own direction, that group ride should be avoided. Avoid those shenanigans, just go out there and ride alone. You are safe, you will be happier. My name is Meshach. Subscribe to the Two Wheels Paradise. Here we discuss motorcycles and everything to do with motorcycles. God bless you and keep you. And remember, these are the 5 group rides that you should try as much as possible to avoid engaging yourself in because of your own safety. See you around. See you next time. God bless you.